There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. He was blameless and upright, a man who feared God and turned away from evil. God blessed Job with wealth, children, and honor, and Job worshiped God daily. The morning after each feast, Job would get up early and offer sacrifices for each of his children in order to purify them. He always did this because he thought that one of them might have sinned by insulting God unintentionally. When the day came for heavenly beings to appear before the Lord, Satan was among them. The Lord asked him, "What have you been doing?" Satan answered, "I have been walking here and there, roaming around the earth." "Did you notice my servant Job?" the Lord asked. "There's no one on earth as faithful and good as he is. He worships me and is careful not to do anything evil." Satan replied, "Would Job worship you if he got nothing out of it? You have always protected him and his family and everything he owns. You bless everything he does, but now suppose you take away everything he has. He will curse you to your face." "All right," the Lord said to Satan, "everything he has is in your power, but you must not hurt Job himself." So Satan left. Job was enjoying a feast in his home, surrounded by abundance and peace. Suddenly, a servant rushed in with terrible news. Before Job could recover, another servant came, and then another, one disaster after another. His livestock were gone, his servants were killed, and finally, and the worst news of all, his children were dead. Job stood in silence, his heart shattered. He tore his clothes in grief and fell to the ground in mourning. Yet even in his pain, Job worshiped God. When the day came for heavenly beings to appear before the Lord again, Satan was among them. The Lord asked him, "What have you been doing?" Satan answered, "I have been walking here and there, roaming around the earth." "Did you notice my servant Job?" the Lord asked. "There's no one on earth as faithful and good as he is. He worships me and is careful not to do anything evil." Satan replied, "A person will give up everything in order to stay alive. But now suppose you hurt his body, he will curse you to your face." So the Lord said to Satan, "All right, he's in your power, but you're not to kill him." Then Satan left the Lord's presence and made sores break out all over Job's body. Job went and sat by the garbage dump and took a piece of broken pottery to scrape his sores. His wife said to him, "You're still as faithful as ever, aren't you? Why don't you curse God and die?" Job answered, "You're talking nonsense. When God sends us something good, we welcome it. How can we complain when he sends us trouble?" Even in all this suffering, Job said nothing against God. When Job's friends heard of all the trouble that had come upon him, they came to sit with him. At first they were silent. For 7 days and 7 nights they watched him in pain, unable to recognize the man he once was. But when they finally spoke, their words were not comfort. They accused him. They said, "No one suffers like this without reason. Your pain must be the punishment for hidden sin. God does not strike the innocent." Again and again, they insisted that Job must have done something wrong. They urged him to confess, to repent, and to accept his suffering as judgment. But Job defended himself. He cried out to the Lord and declared his innocence. He said, "I have feared God. I have turned away from evil. I have helped the poor and walked uprightly before him. Yet this suffering has come upon me." Job did not curse God, but he questioned him. He asked why a faithful servant should suffer like the wicked. And in his anguish, Job pleaded for God to hear him and answer. Then God answered Job out of the whirlwind. "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Have you commanded the morning? Can you control the stars or tame the mighty Leviathan?" Job covered his mouth. He had no answer. After the suffering, after the silence, God shone his light upon Job. Where loss had ruled, restoration began. Where grief had lived, joy returned. God saw a heart that remained faithful when everything else was taken away. And in his time, he restored what had been lost, not just returning, but multiplying the blessing. Job's strength was renewed. His home was rebuilt. His life overflowed once again. For the Lord gives, the Lord takes away, and the Lord restores. Blessed be the name of the Lord.